Hey, I'm Scott. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to my very humble, cluttered, and chilly garage gym. It's been a tough winter here in Maryland, trying to come out here and work out. I've had days where I've come out where I know it's below freezing in here. I have heaters in here. Right now, my one heater tells me it's 46 degrees. I think it only goes as low as 32. So I've come out here, when I've turned it on, it says 32, and I have 3 heaters in here, and together they were not raising the temperature above 32. So that's how chilly it's been here in the mid-Atlantic, here in the DMV. But anyhow, I digress. Let me get to the point of this video. So last year, starting in the spring, I started having an issue with this left shoulder. And it progressed over a few months to where it became too painful for me to do any pressing movements, such as bench press, overhead press, even just dumbbell presses. And that really sucked because I enjoy doing those exercises, and they helped me get strong. So I went a good part of last year without being able to press, and so my pressing strength declined quite a bit. But starting in the fall, I started doing a handful of exercises to rehabilitate that shoulder, and I'm probably about 90% of where I was. So I've been doing my strength training again for a good solid month now. If you've seen my other videos on the channel, you'll know that in middle of December I had a third of my colon removed, so I wasn't able to do any strength training for a few weeks after that. I started back into it with some light dumbbells. This week is the first week I've done any squatting, and I'm not sure if I'm going to bring back, if and when I'm bringing back the deadlift into the routine. But anyhow, I did start squatting again. I have to be careful of the squatting. Any exercises where there's a lot of core involvement, core movement, or core engagement, I should say, because I have 6 incisions, and I do not want to get a hernia. I had a hernia years ago, and that's no fun either. In any event, everything came out well with the surgery. There's no issue. There was no underlying cancer after they tested the growth that was in the colon, so I'm good to go there. Anyhow, so I had 4 exercises that I've employed on my upper body days to get ready for my session, and I'm going to run through those. So if you have any kind of an issue, obviously you want to get it diagnosed. I have an aversion to seeing doctors, so I try to self-diagnose when I can, and I found some exercises online and that I've worked on before, so I had an idea of what I was trying to accomplish. I felt like maybe I had some sort of a rotator cuff issue, or maybe a partially torn labrum. So it's probably not the labrum, or there might have been just some tendonitis in there. So combined with these exercises and the amount of rest that I got at the end of last year, towards the beginning, first couple weeks of this year, I think that helped significantly in my recovery with this shoulder. So here goes. So I've already done these ahead of my session today, so I'm just going to demonstrate a few of these with a few reps. So the first one's kind of a lateral raise, but out at an angle. So I've got 10-pound dumbbells here, and I would do somewhere right now about 12 to 15 of these. Keeping the arms as straight as possible and getting the dumbbell up over the shoulder. So I've got full range of motion there. I can take it all the way up there, out to the side. I can go out pretty far. So I don't have a range of motion issue at all with that shoulder. So I'll do 12 to 15 reps with 10s. Sometimes then I'll do a second set with 12.5s after I rest about 30 seconds, and I'll do another 10 with those. And the last 3 exercises were with my resistance bands. So first I warm up doing this rotator cuff movement. So my upper arms are perpendicular to my body and parallel to the floor, and then I rotate those rotator cuffs with the resistance bands to get that movement. And those muscles are so small that you really can't handle a lot of weight with this. So I do 5 or 6 reps initially just to warm the rotator cuffs up a little bit. Then I go to an internal movement. So I stick that elbow into my side, and I do both shoulders just because you want to maintain balance in your training. So even though there's no issue with the right shoulder. So stick the elbow into your side and then pull the band across. And I like using the bands instead of a dumbbell with these exercises. Right? So you would lay down on your side for some of these, and you might bring that up from the floor up like that, but you have it's easier to have this have that negative, hold that negative going back to give yourself a little bit more training there. So I do both sides like that. And then the other one is an external rotation movement. So I've got that left elbow tucked into my body, and I pull the band across this way. And there's not a lot of movement going back that way. So I don't get that forearm out to my side very much. I've never had a tremendous amount of movement in this shoulder with that range of motion. I haven't had a tremendous amount of range of motion with these shoulders like that, because I've always had a little bit of a slouch, and that's something I've had to fight since I was a kid. You know, I got into that bad habit, slouching, and then when you do a lot of bench pressing over time as well, which I have, that's the tendency, is your shoulders start to pull in, and that's probably what causes the injury to begin with over time. So that's why you want to have work on these movements where you're pulling your shoulders back, you're squeezing those shoulder blades together, and trying to get that posture a little bit taller and in a better position for your shoulders. So I do those 2 exercises, the internal and then the external, and then I go back to this one again, but I create more tension, and I do about anywhere from 10 to 15 reps back here like this. And I still feel just a modest amount of pain in that shoulder still, so I know it's probably never going to be 100% again. But I've got full range of motion now, and I can pretty much do as much bench pressing and overhead pressing as I've been able to get my strength back up. So like I said, my strength level on those exercises is about 85% of my all-time highs. So I'm pretty happy with that, given that I've only been back to serious training for about a month now. So, okay, so if you have any shoulder issue, go and see, get it diagnosed, the issue. I have an aversion to doctors, so I try to self-diagnose myself. This has helped me with these exercises. If you just have a range of motion issue going on without some of the pain, work on these exercises as well if you're trying to get, better movement in your golf swing. So in order to get that arm higher in that backswing, you need that range of motion, and that's, you're only going to be able to develop that if you don't have any tendonitis in there. You strengthen the rotator cuff a bit, and then you'll be able to get more of a range of motion in your swing, as long as you got some flexibility elsewhere. All right, so thanks for watching this video. Check out scottcolegolf.com. I got the link below this video. I've got a whole fitness program set up over there. I think you should check out. If you're looking to generate more power in your golf swing, you want to get stronger, build up some flexibility, and that program will help you out. All right, so we'll see you down the road.